We continue our reading of God's Dream for You, The Chosen, a morning devotional by author Dwight K. Nelson. Today's reading, December 17, The Jesus Generation, To Lonely Places. But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Luke 5:16. Dallas Willard tells of experiments conducted with mice and amphetamine, a drug to induce increased wakefulness. When a mouse is kept alone, it takes 20 times more amphetamine to kill it than when it is in a group. In fact, researchers found that if they placed an amphetamine-free mouse in the midst of a group already on the drug, that poor, drug-free mouse would be dead within 10 minutes. So strong was the erratic group behavior of the drugged mice that the healthy mouse began to imitate their frenzied dysfunction and eventually dropped over dead from simply trying to keep up with them. Willard's point: our conformity to social patterns is hardly less remarkable than that of the mice, and just as deadly. Spirit of the Disciplines, page 161. And therein lies the necessary lesson for the Jesus generation. The hypnotic draw of this culture's social pattern can be broken only by our withdrawal from it, just as Jesus did. Quote, but he would withdraw to desolate places and pray, end quote. Luke 5:16. Why? Quote, no other life was ever so crowded with labor and responsibility as was that of Jesus. Yet, how often he was found in prayer. How constant was his communion with God. In a life wholly devoted to the good of others, the Savior found it necessary to withdraw from the thoroughfares of travel and from the throng that followed him day after day. He must turn aside from a life of ceaseless activity and contact with human needs to seek retirement and unbroken communion with his Father. As one with us, a sharer in our needs and weaknesses, he was wholly dependent upon God, and in the secret place of prayer, he sought divine strength that he might go forth braced for duty and trial. Through continual communion, he received life from God, that he might impart life to the world. His experience is to be ours, end quote. The Desire of Ages, page 362 and 363. For a generation praying to cross over, it isn't rocket science to suggest that the state of Earth's civilization at that final hour will be like amphetamine-drugged mice in spades. It is utterly essential, therefore, that you and I preserve and protect our daily solitude with Jesus, no matter what. The enemy of us all knows that if he can woo us into conformity to the social patterns and fallen cultures of this society, the absolute frenzy of trying to imitate it and them will destroy us. For the sake of his soul and mission, our master and example often withdrew to lonely places in order to pray. For the sake of our soul and mission, can we afford to do any less? This concludes our reading today of God's Dream for You, The Chosen.